Hey everybody, this is Chef Lovely. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we are going to make naan bread. It's easy, it's delicious, and it's going to be the best bread you've ever made at home. Here are the ingredients. 1/3 cup of warm milk, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 1 package of active dry yeast, 1/2 cup of plain yogurt, 3 tablespoons of purchased ghee or clarified butter, which we will be using today, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon baking powder, and 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Okay, so let's begin with our naan bread. First things first, we're going to take our milk, we're going to add that to the bowl, and then we're going to add our sugar and our yeast. Now, we're adding our sugar because the yeast, it needs a little something to eat, and who doesn't like something sweet? So that sugar is going to help bloom our yeast and activate it. So we're going to mix this really well, just with a wooden spoon here. And we're going to set this aside for about 5 minutes until it gets nice and foamy and we have bubbles on top. That's going to let us know that we are ready to add our remaining ingredients. So I'm going to set this aside, and when we come back, we're going to finish making our naan bread. I'll see you soon. Okay, so it's been 5 minutes, and as you can see, our yeast, our warm milk, and our sugar has done its job. It's foamy and it's bubbly, and we know that our yeast is alive. So this is exactly what we were looking for. So we're going to continue with our bread, and we're going to add in our yogurt. This is a plain yogurt. We're going to add in our clarified butter, or if you have it, you can also use the ghee that we talked about earlier. We're going to add in some salt. We have to flavor our bread, and our baking powder here. Okay, so let's go ahead and give this a stir. We want to incorporate all of these ingredients. And once this is incorporated, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our all-purpose flour right to this mixture here. Make sure that that butter is well incorporated. Okay, this is looking great. Okay, so let's go ahead, let's add in our flour. Now I'm going to do this in 2 batches just because it's a little bit easier. As you can see, we're not using a machine here, it's all about the muscle. So I want to make it a little bit easier for myself and not over mix our dough. So I'm going to add it in about 2 batches. Give this a stir, and you'll see it's going to slowly start coming together to make a ball of dough. So I'm just going to keep on mixing. Okay, let's go in for our remaining flour here. Okay, there we go. We don't want a flour shower to happen, so take your time and incorporate the flour just little by little, just like that. Okay, so as you can see, our dough is coming together and it's forming a ball, which is exactly what you want to see. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. I have a little extra flour that I have. I'm going to dust my surface just like this. I'm also going to rub it right in between my hands because now it's time to get hands-on. So we're going to take this dough and we're going to put it right on our surface just like this. Okay, make sure we get all of it out. Okay, and now we're going to knead this just for a few minutes, just until it comes together. We don't want to overwork this dough. So start off with a little bit of flour and only use more if you definitely need it. Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to use the palm of my hand just to really get in there and mix this dough together. And it's looking really good. So the last step before we add it to the refrigerator, I have a lightly greased bowl. You can use a little bit of olive oil, vegetable oil, or even some of that clarified butter that we used in our dough. And I'm going to drop it in, and I'm going to give it just a little twist so it coats all of the dough, just like that. Then we're going to take some plastic wrap. We're going to cover this. We're going to set it in a warm area, and we're going to let this double in size, okay? So we're going to set that to the side. We're going to let it go for about an hour, and when we come back, I'm going to show you how we're going to roll it out and cook our delicious naan bread. Welcome back, everybody. As you can see, our bread has doubled in size here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly kind of punch down in the bread, kind of pushing out those gases that was made from our yeast, and kind of bring our bread together just like this. It looks good and it smells good. Okay, so next step, we're going to divide this into 8 equal pieces. 8 balls just like this, and we're going to set them right here on our cutting board, just like so. A little bit more on that one. This step is important because it kind of just helps you portion out how many pieces of bread you're going to have, and then it's going to be much, much easier to roll as well. There we go. 6, 7, and 8. I have a little extra one. I'm going to just add that right here. Okay, now I have a piece of plastic wrap. I'm going to lightly cover these, and we're going to let these just sit right here on our cutting board for about 20 minutes. They're going to get just a little bit bigger, and when we come back, I'm going to show you how we roll out this dough and get it into the oven. Okay, so we've let our balls of naan bread sit for about 20 minutes. And now I'm just going to take off our plastic here. I'm going to show you how we roll them out to make our naan bread. So just move these over. I have a little bit of flour. This just helps to make sure that nothing sticks. And I'm also going to roll some flour right here on my rolling pin. Okay, so here we go. So here's a ball of our dough. And we're going to just give it a twist and turn, a twist and turn. It's really easy to do. Just want to make sure that the dough is constantly moving so that it does not stick to our cutting board here. Give it another twist. The kids would love to help you with this because they get to get flour everywhere. Okay, there we go. So for my naan bread, I don't like it too big because I actually like to make sandwiches out of my naan bread. Okay, a few more rolls and we're good to go. There we go. So it's that easy. You have your beautiful piece of naan bread here. So I have my hot stone already ready to go. We're going to cook it on one side for about 2 to 3 minutes. Then we're going to flip it and cook it for an additional 1 to 2 minutes or until it's very puffy and light golden brown. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. When we come back, you're going to see our naan bread completely finished and ready to eat. Okay, everybody, so as you can see, our naan bread is absolutely gorgeous. It has beautiful brown coloring on both sides, and it looks absolutely delicious. So it's easy to make. Don't be afraid of it, and enjoy something new. So here's our delicious naan bread.